Summer dress code in effect here?
Yes, pardon my casual appearance. If I had gone home, I would have never made it in time.
I'm glad it's casual.
Okay, Goldie, I want you to go 2 for 2. Would you lead us in the pledge here again?
Here we go.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mr. Note, I want you for...
Please remain standing. Heavenly Father, bless this assemblage. Grant us the wisdom to make our every decision fair-minded and in the best interest for all its residents. I kindly ask everyone to please keep in your prayers the Burns family and the Skulky family, both of which have been dedicated contributors and friends of the town of Rye for many years.
Amen.
Thank you, Goldie.
Amen. For the purposes of the timing, official time, Mr. Moses, we're 5 minutes late start, so I want you to take that into account. 8:06, I want you to take that into account. Okay, can I get a model American community update? Can I get a model American community update?
Yes, Kevin.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Carol.
Need to be the operator?
Oh,
Just run away,
How are you? I love your shirt.
Well,
Hey, how are you grading us right now? 1 to 10 in model American community. Are we
11.
hang on a second. Let's see. Is that good enough? That's it? Okay. Oh, yes. I'm sorry.
You see?
Yes.
Town Supervisor Carvin and Town Council, members here of the town. Just an update on 3 aspects of the Model American community. One on the summer internship has just begun. One on a new initiative that hopefully you might find important for the town to support, sustainability, and an update on the hunger report, which we've been working on for a couple of months now. The summer internship started 1 week ago. A wonderful group of young high school students, you can see 8 of them, spent 1 week here at Town Hall learning 4 important skills. As you recall, this started with John Rivas from the NAACP a number of years ago when we reached out into the community to see how can we be helpful to the community. He spoke of the importance of job readiness training, that we really didn't seem to be offering that in the high schools. So the week program, we focused on job search skills, resume writing, interview skills, and job performance. I think one of the things that makes this a particularly good job readiness training is for the interview skills, I think 10 of the 12 work sites participated in that session, interview skills, which is always the key thing in getting the job, is how we all, including the youngsters, come across in the interview skills. So it was a really hands-on interview skills on Thursday. 12 work sites throughout the town came forward and said, we'd love to have an intern during the course of the year, and 3 of those work sites, I think as you had challenged us meeting before last, spoke about that they would pay half the stipend being $6 an hour. So Allstate, which was new this year, participated in that. You can see the Carver Center, the Council of Community Services. So for the next 5 weeks, the interns will work 15 hours a week there and receive a stipend of $6 an hour, which is certainly more of a defraying of their lunch costs and transportation costs than a commensurate payment for their services. And there's a nice diversity. You also see a new group there, Studio 14. And something that caught my eye, Bishop, you may be able to comment on this better than I, the Portchester Dog Park, apparently dedicated to finding a solution in the village of Portchester to where they might have a dog.
I'm wondering, this may be a twofer. Could we can have those dogs from Rye-Town Park, have them go there.
That may come out of it.
Send out invitations.
Tell our interns.
So 5 weeks from now, they will have finished their work. One more piece, Bishop, on that, if I might. In addition to this, it seemed important not just to turn and they are youngsters, certainly from second year high school through senior high school, not just to turn them loose. So during the time that they're there, they've been assigned a mentor. And Thomas and Alejandro Payan. Alejandro, because he's an adjunct teacher at Manhattanville, was able to secure some international students to act as mentors. So each week they will meet with each intern for 1 hour to kind of help them through those issues. And I see that we have here with us today Brian Kerr, who was in the first group of interns. So it's a wonderful program. Again, started a number of years ago through John Rivas, the NAACP, which you here at the town have been supporting, and it's grown very nicely, and to the point where some of the job sites are providing half of the stipend. And we'll report back to you in September on how it went. Okay, the second item is sustainability, and you'll see that kind of a nebulous definition of what the heck is sustainability, but I think you might find it three kind of hooks to put it on. Greenhouse gas emissions. Are we losing our ability to breathe here on the planet? Support sustainable development. Always a yin and yang between development that creates jobs and how does it impact the environment. Either direct construction or the cars, etc., those kinds of things. And then that last item, kind of an Al Gore kind of thing, preparing for climate change. We had a wonderful opportunity. Supervisor, the two gentlemen from Sweden, was it, in Finland?
Yep. No, Finland.
From Finland, spoke, and I must say, I never really thought about it. The statement that grabbed me was, if we continue to consume the resources on our planet at the rate we're doing, we're going to need, I think, 8 planets, was it?
Yeah, 8 planet Earths.
Unbelievable. So, something for us to be aware of. Okay, how do we handle that, Bishop? Our colleagues, Westchester County in 2008, developed this Westchester Action Plan for Climate Change and Sustainable Development. Their goal, as you can see, is essentially reducing carbon footprint by 20% by 2015. Well, certainly in order to do that, you have to have a sense of what the carbon footprint was in 2008, and you'll see that'll come to play in a moment. New York State, in 2009, same kind of idea, reducing gashouse emissions by 80% by 2050. More locally, in our Mid-Hudson region, a group of 50 local governments, and I would encourage us to become one of them, called Climate Smart Communities. Signing the pledge, and we'll see in a moment some of the details of that. One of the nice things is not only getting technical assistance, but also having the opportunity to receive financial assistance from the state. I think for us here in the town, it seems that 2 areas are important to us. One is, what do we as a corporation do as a good citizen of the planet? Taking care of our own house. So reducing as best we can our town offices, carbon footprint at Crawford and at Rye-Town Park. The second, and hopefully parallel activity, developing a sustainability plan for the entire 43,000 residents of our town. A parallel but very different approach. I have with me a sort of a visual aid, and wish I could pass one to everybody. This is what the city of Rye did as their sustainable plan. And it followed that model that we'll see in a moment, essentially saying, let us take a measure of what footprint we have now, how we're affecting the world. Let's do some things that we think will reduce that carbon footprint, and then let's measure again. So these are some of the elements that might be ones that we undertake as we move ahead as a corporation and as a town government. Setting goals, inventory our emissions, decrease our town and community energy use, renewable energy, recycling, things I think we're all pretty comfortable with. But putting it into a plan, but I think more important than the plan, from a wonderful meeting we had with Sarah Goddard, who was the chair of the City of Rye Commission, was the formation of the committee. Have it broad-based, have it community-based, not a technical document that stands on the shelf like some engineering type report. So that sustainability plan, again, paralleling our work as a good corporation to take care of our own offices and reduction, as well as the Crawford Park. What might we do with LED lights? What might we do in all aspects of the park? And so that's the sustainability plan. Thank you. The third piece is some issues on the hunger report. Remember, you were briefed a little while ago, I guess 2 meetings ago. That's the same topic that the Tools for Change, the democracy program that was started a number of years ago, they took up the same question. And I think one of the most interesting things is how difficult it is to define what is the need out here in our community of 43,000. We have a lot of anecdotal data. People report on it, and it kind of boils down maybe to those 3 indicators, and we'll see that in a second. Poverty. The statistics suggest that we need to spend, that we, as a family of 4, we spend about $50, a little less than $50 per person at the grocery store. So a family of 4 needs $200 times 50, 2 weeks is a little over $10,000. So you can see how poverty would relate to that. Also, we'll see in a second about these school breakfast and lunch programs, another indicator of how many people qualify and take use of it. Again, an indirect indicator, not a statement of, am I already hungry? And then the third is, how many people actually walk into food pantries and the soup kitchens in our community? We have some slides on each of those. So this is the sense of poverty. A lot of numbers up there, but I can direct your attention to the top right-hand corner. Percentage below poverty, town of Rye, of our 45,000 residents, 11.3 below the poverty level. And then on the bottom, you'll see the percent below, 50% below, 125% below, etc. So suggesting that of the 45,000 people, 5,000 are below the poverty level. As an indicator, this group might not have $10,000 per year to spend on food, and that's the suggestion there. Second indicator, please. Another indicator would be what's happening in our schools, kind of a broad-based measure. And you can see in the bottom right-hand corner, eligible for free lunch or reduced lunch, of the 3,031 who are eligible. You see on the bottom left, 4,391. That represents 69%. That's of the people in the public schools, just as an indicator, because we do not have a real good measure to say what is the need in our community. And finally, the third indicator is the slide which says, okay, Dave Thomas and myself, we went to visit all the food pantries and the soup kitchens that serve our community. Food pantries being you come in and you receive food and you can go right out. Some of the food pantries combine the giving of the food with the giving of a meal. Needless to say, these are wonderfully good-hearted people. They don't tend to ask people for their income tax statements every time they come in. Generally, I would describe it as, if you come in, there's the belief that you have the need. You can see from the food pantries, and again, we're looking at the monthly numbers there, 763 families and 1,300 individuals come in to the food pantries to receive food to bring home. And you can see down the soup kitchens, 773 weekly come in. Maybe not necessarily the same every week. Again, an indicator. So if we took families of 4, that's about 2,900, almost 3,000, and another 1,300. You could see that number, about 11% we spoke about earlier in the first slide about poverty, that kind of correlates with that. But again, these are all indirect indicators of hunger. And I suspect people who have been to countries in Central America and South America and India would kind of see hunger in a very different way. But this is ours here. So we have more to do on that, but at least giving us a sense that yes, indeed, there's probably some people in our community who could use help in that very basic human need of food and hunger. Thank you, Bishop. So those are the three pieces.
I have one quick question.
Well, yeah, come on up.
Please, yeah.
You can have more than one quick question.
Thanks, Bishop. Appreciate that. Okay, Greg, just with regards to the soup kitchens and where the families are receiving support through the churches, part of the report that we received from the Monolithic American program was the unfortunate opportunity where the churches are not communicating, or the soup kitchens are not communicating well enough. So as part of the internship program this summer, identifying how they can better communicate?
Exactly. While we may not be able to pinpoint the quantitative need, we know we can make them more efficient. And so the idea would be that, yes, we can bring the groups together and speak about, and there's some other charts in there that you could see what days of the week, and making sure one day a week everybody's open for somebody. Right. That kind of idea, exactly. So one of the interns would be working on that, as well as our own energy. And
then also identifying the ability to take in food donations,
yes.
Where food donations would not be lost to obviously,
Yep.
garbage. So.
Yes. I mean, that absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Efficiencies, economy, the wonderful church here, St. Francis. The story, I happened to meet with them, the village of Portchester had to close them down because they didn't have proper fire suppression system in their soup kitchen. So I mean, they're faced with some real issues in the community that we could possibly help them on.
Right. Or maybe, and so those people, I guess, went to a soup kitchen that was functioning.
Right. Which
St. Francis had to close it down?
They were, at the time I met with them, they were under orders to close down by the end of June.
And what day of the week were they offering soup kitchen? Were they Wednesday night, I think, if I'm not mistaken? Is it not that easy?
Better than I am, Supervisor. I might have to check that.
Anyway, that's okay. We can figure it out. But it's not that. But it's not like there's an automatic other kitchen.
No, we have to make.
They were Wednesday, 5:30 to 7:00.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. So I think we could be helpful as a town in convening, communicating, not necessarily putting our resources of a huge amount behind it, because that's not, I think, our strong point.
And obviously, through your numbers here, just showing that, if Portchester, the two percentages you were, I think it was 15% is what the need was. So obviously, if the town of Rye is at 13, Portchester at 15, Mamaroneck, Rybrook are below that, bringing that number down. So
exactly.
The real need, even though if you're hungry in Mamaroneck or hungry in Rybrook, it's still the same as being hungry in Portchester.
Yeah,
so regardless of what the number is, I think we need to focus more so not on the percentage, but more so on the individual person that needs that help.
If one person hungry, it's one too many. Right.
Good. Got it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Other questions, comments from the board?
I was just curious if was it the Ansel system that they had to update, which is the lines that go above the hood that when there's a grease fire it dumps down the powder.
I think you passed my level of confidence.
All right. Well, when you said fire suppression,
when I looked at
it's
it
in the kitchen, right?
It was in the kitchen. When I looked at it, they had two stoves and one
nozzle.
Whatever that is.
One nozzle. Okay. So they have to put more in.
Yeah.
Are they going to have that done?
Their estimate was $10,000, and the brief discussion we had was Holy Rosary, which is certainly not very far away, is also a food pantry and soup kitchen. And yet we know, I think, people develop an emotional attachment, and so I don't know the answer to how they've worked that out so far.
We ought to, yeah, but that's exactly something we ought to be able to help with. Well, the first thing is on the hunger study. The first question really we asked our team to look at was, are we meeting the need? Are we, 100% of Portchester kids get a free breakfast? 58% of Portchester kids get a free lunch in school. 11% more get a reduced lunch. That's 69% all told. And then you have an array of soup kitchens and food pantries. And so the first question is, are we meeting the need? Is the need double what we're providing for or not? And the honest answer is we don't know. The honest answer is nobody knows. As a matter of social policy, it's really an area where, I think there's a level of embarrassment. People don't want to.
Yes.
And I think there's people are afraid to look under the hood and really figure out, do we have a real need for hunger in our midst? And so that's the first point. The second point is there's no real effort, as I understand it. There's an informal coordination amongst the food providers, but there's no formal coordination amongst the food providers. So I think there's, in terms of what we're trying to do here, I think there's a real opportunity for us to bring together the food providers, see if we can't get a meeting and try and coordinate the effort. One, to see, are we satisfying the need? And how can we more efficiently deliver and meet that need? And, my goodness, I wouldn't want to be mayor of Portchester if I'm closing down a kitchen that's providing, food to the community.
Right.
So let's see if we can work with them to find a solution on that. So I want to thank you for the hard work you did on this.
Dave Thomas and I worked together.
Thomas and you worked on this, and I think we ought to see if we can't, just make the delivery more efficient and get better numbers. On the sustainability, my view on sustainability is, we haven't done anything on it really in the town. I think that's been a blemish on our record. And I think what's interesting, starting to look at this, there's a number of communities are look at, for Rye, for example, they put together a sustainability plan, and that plan was put together by a committee of committed citizens. So, and one of the things you'll see in that report is that the city of Rye infrastructure consumes about 1% of the energy, and the rest is transportation, residents, and those kinds of things. So I think this is as much about awareness raising and providing a good example as anything else. So what I'd like for the board to do is, if we could think of, it really I think it's going to be citizen-led. If we reach out to the community, reach out to people at home, anybody has an interest, on working on making the town more green. We have Crawford Park, Ragtown Park, and our infrastructure. Certainly we could do that. And then, one of the things that's really interesting, once you measure something, you start to impact behavior. How do we measure your carbon footprint? And we're working to provide some metrics for the town itself and for individuals to try and begin to measure that stuff. So again, if the town board could think about how we might, generate this citizens committee and see if we can't get recommendations for committee for next meeting.
I think awareness is certainly the first goal.
Absolutely.
In my own office building, they use styrofoam cups, and it just drives me up the wall. And I can't seem to convince them that it's not worth the few cents they're saving per ream of cups. But it's about the quality awareness. You present it in a way that it's hard to argue, and that's what we really need to focus on, community awareness.
Greg mentioned there were two gentlemen over from Finland, and there's a monthly town supervisors lunch. The two gentlemen from Finland are looking to make Finland, the whole country, carbon free in 10 years' time. And so I asked if they couldn't come speak to the lunch of supervisors, and it was actually quite interesting. And again, Bedford's done a lot of work on sustainability. It's led to the creation of Sustainable Westchester, a not-for-profit. There was a summit held that Dave Thomas attended. But what was interesting, most of the measures are cost-saving. And so, it seems to me that, if we do it right, we can also save costs, save expenditures. So, so I want to encourage you to continue that. Let's get that committee set up and see if we can't become green and save costs at the same time. And finally, I just want to thank Mr. Arcaro, Mr. Thomas, Mr. Payon for all their hard work on the summer internship. I really believe that John Rivas for a suggestion. I want to thank him for that. I think that is in this environment, a terrific skill set to have in job skills. And one thing I want to make sure we give kids feedback on the interview skills. I don't know if we already did, but it was pretty obvious who was good and who wasn't. I saw the grades afterwards. I met with the interviewees briefly, and the same two people were 1 and 2, and that's more skill set. I mean, Kira and Rihanna, if you're watching at home, I make sure I embarrass them to heck. Make sure they look to whoever they're saying, an adult they meet, shake their hand, look them in the eye, and say hello. And I got to tell you, that is the most important job skill set I can think of. Just communication, and you're communicating in a sense of confidence and character. And when you do that, it really has an impact. So I want to thank you for all the hard work you're doing, and thank you. The Model American Committee is in good hands. And again, this is virtually, we're trying to make a contribution, an outside with resource without looking resource, but basically what can we do with the existing resource? So thank you. Any other questions for Mr. Arcaro?
No.
Okay. Thank you much. Thank you, Mr. Arcaro. Okay. Minutes. I'm going to try and get them all three at the same time if we could. Anybody have any questions on the meeting minutes of June 3rd, June 17th, and June 27th? Well, we've been busy, huh?
Yes, we have.
Any comments, questions? If not, can I get a motion to approve the meeting minutes of the June 3rd, 17th, and 27th?
So moved.
A second?
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Comments from the public? Goldie?
Sorry.
Rocking and rolling. That's okay.
I know, I'm always here.
We're up to 7 concerts in Rye-Town Park.
I know. Rye-Town is very important. Rye-Town has a history that is incredible, and it was there before any of us were there. Rye-Town has to go on and on and on, but Rye-Town cannot get involved in people who are impoverished. You cannot get involved in that. We have right now a big problem in our area because we're in a recession, depression. A lot of people have no jobs. Some are disabled and everything else. And a lot of people have poured in here from Mexico, Central America, and South America because it's not very good down there. You can't get involved in their eating habits. You cannot do that, and you cannot bring churches into this thing either, because they get donations and they get contributions from different people, different organizations, and everything else to help the people who are impoverished. You can't do it, but they are getting it done, and they've been doing that for a long time. Okay? So please don't get involved in that. The other thing I want to let you know is I go to Oakland Beach all the time. It's an incredible beach, and it's incredible with their concerts on Tuesday nights. And I help out there. I help give out the schedules of the concerts. But in Portchester, we are also having summer concert series. I left them all on your in front of you there. What's going on in Portchester in Lyon Park on Friday nights, and what's going on Wednesday in the downtown street area, and also Portchester Day. So please come out if you can to the concerts wherever they are. But I also want to tell you, please, we're waiting for you to transfer to 222 Grace Church Street, and I'm not happy with that because I love this building and I love you being in this building and I love coming into this building. Whatever has to happen because of this horrible depression and recession in the United States of America. And we're all getting hurt, especially in low-income and middle-income communities. We're getting hurt. But do the best you can, try the best you can, and do not do anything to make the people down. And that's what this will do. It'll bring the people down and the churches down. Don't mention churches that are helping the people because they get donations and contributions. Please do not do that, okay? And stay away from that and leave us alone.
Other comments from the public? Okay. The Columbus Day celebration, we've contributed every year. I see we have $1,500 into the budget for that. Does anybody have any questions? That's obviously an event we like that we've supported in the past. We have funds available in the budget for it. And I hope, are you still on that committee?
Yes.
And the Honorable Town Clerk Ovesvia is on that committee. Any questions, comments on the $1,500 contribution to the Columbus Day Parade?
Nope.
I get a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, terrific. Excellent. Okay, we got two certiorari matters. Is this Mr. Vitigliano, is that why you're here tonight?
Yes, Aldo is here. There is, I just want to call your attention, if I may, to the Assessor's report, which is dated July 15th. And number 2, Denise has provided information on both of these proposed settlements with a list of all the information that we've received. And then, of course, Aldo's here to answer any questions you might have. But I think the first one...
This is the one we went back and got that secured.
You were involved in this
yes,
one,
I'm very pleased. We want to thank Mr. Vitigliano for coming this evening. Thank you for his hard work. We negotiated, I think, a terrific settlement here on this first one. I don't know if anybody has any particular questions. I'm sure Mr. Vitigliano can answer them.
Yes. Good afternoon. Good evening.
Good evening.
What is the physical address of UCF Regent Park?
It's 14 University Place. It's the Regent Gardens Apartments.
Okay,
Off of Columbus. It's undergone, tremendous renovation, but the years in question cover a period when it was in substantial decline.
When was the renovation, though, was done 2-3 years ago, correct?
The renovation is not completed. It was first approved by the zoning board, I think, in 2008 to make some changes, some additions, and then work stopped. And so it only started pretty intensively last year into this year.
Okay, thank you.
Other questions? Well, let me take questions on both of them because
there's 2 resolutions, B and C. One is UCF Regent Park. The other one is Washington Park Plaza Associates.
Now, Washington Park Plaza, we haven't discussed this one as much. I remember. It looks like the the proposal is a fair one, and I know Town Assessor Canauer is recommending we approve this. As are you, Mr. Vitigliano?
Yes.
And it obviously doesn't impact. Again, it looks basically like our evaluation is largely correct.
There were, in both cases, there were instances where it was a little bit out of line for it, but they now are corrected, and they're corrected in a way that doesn't impact substantially. So what happens many times with the assessment role is it gets brought to the attention of the assessor. Sometimes it's dealt with, sometimes it's not. Sometimes the question of information, sometimes not. And so many times it ends up coming into the certiorari process to be worked out. And that's where I would put the Washington Park Plaza in that category, where information was provided, but nobody really dealt with it because they let the assessment drift down a little bit, but the first year or two are the ones that were really most out of line.
All right. Any questions from Mr. Vitigliano?
Just want to confirm Washington Park Plaza Associates, that's the shopping center in Rye Brook where Westchester Burger is?
It's in Rye Brook, but it's also in Portchester.
Okay.
So
on the backside where Corpus Christi is?
That's correct.
Okay.
Okay, can I get a motion to approve resolutions B and C as proposed by Mr. Vitigliano, Town Attorney Noto, and Town Assessor Canauer?
So moved.
Second?
I'll second it.
We'll call the roll because it's, please.
Collins?
Yes.
Nardi?
Yes.
Nioras?
Yes.
Villanova?
Yes.
Carvin?
Yes.
Okay, and one other piece of information, I sent an email to Town Attorney Noto. Another case has been withdrawn without any refunds. property on Westchester Avenue.
Good job, Mr. Vitigliano. You let him know the hard-nosed.
Thank you for acting.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your help. I appreciate it. And thank you for all your hard work on our behalf. Thank you, Mr. Vitigliano. We've got a great team, Mr. Noto, you put in place here between Mr. Vitigliano
We do.
and
Thank
Mr.
you.
Bender and Mr. Toulis. Thank you for
From the
doing that.
bullpen, the supervisor.
Well, you know, every now and then.
Good call with the Teddy Roosevelt. Speak softly would carry a big stick.
Well,
Great.
we laugh about it, but real quick, I know you want to try to stay on track, but I've been here a long time, and I have yet to see, Hope, you could attest to this, and Dave, I've yet to see a year like the past couple of years where people are withdrawing the certiorari's from the town of Rye. I mean, that's just really, this is very powerful. It's hard for people at home to understand, but it's very powerful for the town.
And, in all honesty, I think it's a result of several years' hard work.
Right.
Where basically, and then last year, where we got financial, oh, by the way, Mr. Arcaro, financial information, do we have 100% compliance this year again? Is that 3% penalty still out there?
It's in your report, actually. I think she raises it on page 3.
Which report?
The assessor's
I have
report,
to-
which is in your
yes.
package.
So,
Okay.
she
Oh, I
put
see.
together a very comprehensive report.
It's getting there. We're
Okay.
close to.
Well, but those people, I hate to see those people pay 3%
There were
because
18 extensions that were granted, which is in the.
that'll allow us to reduce the taxes. Hell, that one will make, I'll be able to start taking the salary then. We won't be able to charge, we'll need to charge a
The
tax.
top of page 3.
Right, 204 filed, we have 186 responses. However, we have 5 were withdrawn, and then 18 extensions, so we're close. We're very close.
Yeah, but remember, that's a big number, right? Remember, these people, the penalty, remember, is 3%. So that you're going to get on 20 properties. No, is that right?
Well, no, she granted extensions, so
Yeah, they were granted
They have to,
July
they have to
17th.
comply
they still
by
have
the
until the
21st.
17th to comply.
Yeah, but I'm saying, so when is that? Isn't that, that's 2 days from now?
That's this week,
Wednesday.
That's what I'm saying. It's just before the Andrew Bino concert at Lions Park on Friday. But, I mean, is Denise out? She on vacation this
No,
week?
she's on
No.
at a conference.
Yes.
When's she back?
She'll be back on the 17th.
All right, I mean, Mr. Nowotnik, I know Mr. Carroll's out most of Thursday on sustainability, but the two of you make sure you double check where we get to on this. And, look, I don't know if she's going to grant another extension, but these people are at great risk of paying taxes twice, right? Remember, 3% is the equivalent of their tax bill. And so, we got 100% compliance. And the other thing I'd like to get some sense of is the quality of the information we received. Last year was the first one, but I want to make sure we're getting real information as well. But,
Make sure
Well-
you read number 4 into the record, she asked.
okay. All right. Do you want to do it, Deputy Supervisor Lenore, or do you want me to do it?
Go ahead. All right, real quick, just from the assessor, she suggested that this is read into the record to make sure that everybody understands. The school veteran exemption option has prompted the assessment office to audit all of the town's veterans exemptions. On July 15th, the attached recertification letter is being sent to all residents receiving a veteran's exemption. This is a short form with only 4 simple questions and request for proof of residency. No new application or discharge papers are required. Responses requested by August 31st, 2014, and all attempts at follow-up will be made after that date. Since the Portchester School District has adopted the alternative veteran exemption on May 28th, a letter and application will be sent on July 15, 2014, to all of the change in level veterans, all eligible funds, to apply for the alternative veteran school exemption and provide discharge papers. The deadline to apply is May 1st, 2015. However, these residents are urged to search for the discharge papers and apply as soon as possible. As a reminder, those Portchester School District residents already receiving alternative veterans exemptions need not apply for the school exemption. It will be automatic, providing they meet the eligibility requirement based on the recertification form, which they do need to respond to. Thank you.
The form looks like this.
Thank you. Do you want to show the people at home what the form looks like? Yeah.
Show proof of residence that they're still.
Very simple.
And it's only 4 simple questions.
Perfect. Thank you, Town Clerk Vespia. Okay, do we need to reauthorize you to collect the in rem
Oh,
proceedings?
yeah, every year. It's an annual event.
Okay, can we authorize Town, these have done a
So,
fantastic
we
job.
only have
When are you
18
coming
though.
out with your movie?
We only have 18 on this list, so it's actually, whatever we're doing is working, because I think this is the lowest number we've had in 6 years. Only 18.
Probably the
eligible.
economy's improving a bit too, right?
Well, remember, these are people that hadn't paid going back to
That's
11,
right, yeah,
so,
yeah.
you know, that'll filter through
Right.
in a couple of years, I hope. But
What page are you looking at?
no, he's looking at the resolution D.
D.
I mean, you said there were 18?
Oh, I didn't give you the list, because I only got it, I'll circulate.
final to the end of the month.
Okay, well, as soon as I have it, I'll
Did you
circulate.
give us your annual or your monthly, do you have a paper on here somewhere?
Oh, Davey does.
Yeah,
Yeah.
oh, we have it, okay.
Okay.
So this doesn't reflect the 18?
No, none of the 18 are on this.
Okay.
That's a separate list.
Where's the?
So
oh, here it is.
Resolution D is authorized me to go, but we have only 669,300 of uncollected that are eligible for in rem. And same fees, same everything else.
Okay, so can I get a motion to have, approve Resolution D? Any questions on it? If not, can I get a motion, or so moved, can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Do
Okay,
your thing.
terrific. Now, as long as I got you on NREMs, let's just go to your, where do we stand with
Okay, if you
properties?
Look at the second to last page, it looks like, page 9. Page 9 of Mr. Burns' report, there are 5 properties that remain unpaid, all of which are pending for judgment in front of Judge Walker. I anticipate that number 1 will get paid in full before that judgment is signed. 2 and 3 will not. 4, I don't think so. I haven't heard from him. And 5, I'm sure will not.
What, again, this is the same, we have the same conversation every month.
Yeah, we had this conversation. Doesn't have the money, apparently. Doesn't want to sell the house evidently either, or to get a loan. I don't know. So, unpleasant situation.
Bishop, last time we did this, you reached out, would you just
But
call them?
we've had contact.
We have? Oh, we have?
Yeah, we've had contact. It hasn't been.
Oh, you did? Oh, sorry, I apologize.
Yeah, no, yeah, we
So what's she saying?
doesn't have the money.
She doesn't owe it or she doesn't have it?
Yeah, partially she doesn't know it, partially she definitely doesn't have it. She said she doesn't know it. I mean, it's
She said we refused her tax money. She
Right.
called for. Well, we
Right.
refused the current taxes because you owe so much in between. We can't buy
she owes
more.
$37,000.
How much?
$37,000.
But since, I mean, again, does she have any family? I mean, the woman's going to lose a $500,000 home on $37,000.
He said she would, try to sell a house, but she hasn't done anything, like list it with a broker or anything you would normally do to sell a house.
So I would have thought she could borrow it again for the bank, right? Because there's no mortgage
Yep,
on the property.
We've suggested that as well, correct? There's no
Or a
mortgage.
reverse mortgage.
Or a reverse mortgage, so we'll see before we pull the trigger. We'll try and have another conversation with her.
All right, okay.
I'm not optimistic.
If you know she's coming in, would you let me know? I wouldn't mind sitting down and just talking. Okay.
Yeah, she doesn't give you any warning.
Well, if she's in the office, give me a call. If I'm around, I'll stop. I mean, it's just what I hate to see. We all hate to see. Someone lose a $500,000 home for $37,000. No, I know we all hate to see it. I'm just saying, I don't want anybody to get the wrong impression. I want to make absolutely certain we've made every effort. And I know you guys have. We've talked about it, but if we can make one more.
And I think Paul will agree with me, there's undercurrents there that we can't see.
We're not equipped to handle
Okay.
those type of things.
All right. Okay. Well, all right. That's good for the town of Rye finances, and then it's unfortunate for
I
the.
don't think that's
No, that's not the goal at all. That's my whole point. Yeah. All right. So updated lease agreement.
All right, so Resolution E, as you all know, we've worked very hard on revising the lease with the Village of Portchester. Exhibit A, which is attached to Resolution E, is the amendment to the lease that reflects the changes, including the changes to the compliance cap and the public benefit credits. This has been agreed to, by the way, by the Village of Portchester already. So if you pass this resolution, the supervisor will sign the amendment, and then we are off.
And the,
Oh, did you not vote on the in rem? You did.
yeah, we did, yeah.
Yes. Thank you.
Any questions on this?
Nope.
Well, it's been a long time in coming, so we don't need to belabor it. Just on the construction update, do you want to give it now, or do you want to talk about it later
Can you
on?
just vote on this first?
Sure.
Okay.
Can I get a motion to approve this?
So moved.
Hope, would you, a second?
A second.
Hope, would you call the roll, please?
Collins?
Yes.
Nardi?
Yes.
Nioras?
Aye.
Villanova?
Yes.
Carvin?
Yep,
Can I have you sign this, Joe, please?
yep. I need a pen, sorry.
I don't have it, sorry.
Here.